What's up, guys? So welcome to this new Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I would say, competitive guide or competitive update on the Alolan forms that we got in Sun and Moon. So with the arrival of Move Tutors, we have a lot more tools to really build and improve those Alolan forms. So we're going to go through all 10 of them, and we're going to see what new moves, not like moves that it already had. Let's say Alolan Raichu could have had like Electro Web even without move tutors. So we're gonna see only with new moves what they are getting. So we're gonna start with Alolan Raticate. So you're gonna see here what I was like the list of moves. I tweeted them out, so I'm gonna like show screenshots of the tweets. So those are the moves it gets. It still has some useful moves like Zen Headbutt takes care of its main weakness in fighting. Iron Tail is good, knockoff. Shockwave maybe for like playthrough because its special attack is pretty much garbage at base 40. It gets Stomping Tantrum, which is like a less accurate and less powerful version of Earthquake, but for some Pokemon that do not get Earthquake, it's actually a good solution. Throat Chop is very good, base 80, and it stops Pokemon from, well, opponents from using sound-based move. Let's say Sylveon with Hyper Voice will not be able to use those moves for 2 turns, so that's not too bad. There's also moves like Icy Wind, etc. Super Fang may be a little bit more useful than some others, but all around I highlighted those 4 moves. So Knockoff, which it didn't have, Stomping Tantrum, Zen Headbutt, and Iron Tail. Because if you see, like, let's look for Iron Tail. Whoops. Well, it did have it. No, it did not have it. So, yeah, you see some of the moves that I think will be a little more useful for Alolan Raticate. Now, next is Alolan Raichu. So, these are the move tutors for Alolan Raichu: Covet, Signal Beam, Thunder Punch, etc. So, most of the moves, like pretty much all the attacks, it already had as Pikachu or in previous generations. So that means we do not really get anything special for it, except for Magic Code, Magic Room, Recycle, and I think Laser Focus could be good. Also got something like Ally Switch that can be useful in like very rare situations, but still. Magic Coat for balancing back, Stealth Rocks, Spikes, etc. will be very good for Alolan Raichu. Magic Room, all held item has no effects. Like I think it could be useful in like doubles or something. Also, I do not know if it stops Z moves. That is one thing I wasn't sure, so that's why I put it there. Recycle maybe for like some shenanigans, and Laser Focus guarantees a crit on the next turn for your Pokemon, so that's not too bad. But all around, I don't think we will see much special, well, much of these moves in the competitive scene. Well, maybe like Alolan Raichu doesn't have such a bad attack. It's only like 10 points lower than its special attack, so maybe we'll see some stuff like Iron Tail, Knockoff, Thunder Punch, etc. And that's a very easy way to teach Alolan Raichu those moves. Now it gets interesting for the next one. So Alolan Sandslash, Ice Punch is much more reliable than Icicle Crash, because you see for ice moves, it did not have Ice Punch. Check this out. So yeah, Ice Punch was illegal. I don't know why it does that. Like it's when you enter it, it like considers it becomes legal. Anyways, so 10 points for 10% accuracy here. Maybe could be worth it. What are the other ice move it gets? So ice. Let's just make it forget. So it gets Ice Ball, Icicle Crash, Icicle Spear. Ice Punch is a much more reliable move, in my opinion. Aqua Tail, super good because of ground types, because of, well, there are ground types that will not be affected or not be super weak to, sorry, ice types such as let's say Steelix, etc. Like I'm just saying one, but it's a very good Pokemon to like remember. That's another one would be I have its name, but anyways, let's just continue. Let's not lose time on any of that. Anyways, Aquatail, very good move. Iron Tail, super good move if you have like Home Claws, which it now learns through Sandshrew. So that's one to remember. And Knockoff, which was, I think, not available. Let's click here. It did not have Knockoff. So, very good move to have. It's one of the most centralizing moves in the metagame. So Knockoff Sandslash should become a thing very quickly. It also has access to Throat Chop, which I like. Deltrox. Focus Punch when you can predict or like get a sub off, that's good. Icy Wind for like very, very weird like Pip Knight like spreads and sets. Drill Run, weaker than Earthquake, but has like I think it has like the high crit ratio. Super Fang for like bulky versions, etc. So yeah, that's pretty good all in all. For this move tutor for Alolan Sandslash. So let's go for Alolan Ninetales here. This one gets more of a physical move tutor spread with Aquatail, Zen Headbutt, Iron Tail. Those are three very good moves, but the thing is that Alolan Ninetales loses some attack compared to Ninetales, which would be a little better with those moves. Because, like, let's say you have Aquatail, which would take care of ground and rock types, but then again, you don't see a lot of fire types with water moves. That's not something you see very often. Zen Headbutt I like. In like let's say you have like a what's it called? Auroraville, Weakness Policy, moveset. You can actually run physical, which is not something you expect. But anyways, the moves I highlighted, of course, I kept Aquatail because I think it's really cool. Also, Foul Play, very good move for a fast Pokemon like that. Heal Bell, maybe add to like the support role that it can have with Auroraville and Pain Split, which it did not have. So it's a form of recovery, and it doesn't have too much of a high HP, so he's gonna recover a little bit more than something like, let's say, a Guzzlord who would use Pain Split would pretty much always lose HP unless the other Pokemon's at full and it's something like something very bulky. But with base 73, Pain Split can actually be a good move for like those tankier mons that otherwise you wouldn't do much to. And I said Aquatail, so not too bad here. I still like the idea of like for non-competitive Spite. There's also well, Icy Wind is also a good one, but it also already had it. It can use roleplay like for some shenanigans, etc. and doubles. Laser Focus, Wonder Room, etc. You guys pretty much know where this is going. So Alolan Dugtrio doesn't get anything. It gets 3 new moves that are like really useful because Earth Power already had it. It already had Iron Head. That means it pretty much gets, well, Snore, every Pokemon has it, and it sucks unless like you have a really, really good like setup for it, or like something like Refrigerate or like Pixelate or whatever. Otherwise, it sucks. Iron Defense, Stealth Rock, and Stomping Tantrum. Stomping Tantrum, you'll never see that on Alolan Dugtrio unless he's scared to be imprisoned, which will pretty much never happen. But anyways, it's a weaker version of Earthquake. All in all, maybe it has more PP. I don't even know, but still. You see, Stomping Tantrum has 16. Now, that's the same thing. Anyways, so go for Earthquake. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this first group. We're gonna go for the second group because there's one that you'll see. I found a lot of useful moves for like very gimmicky moveset, but still. Alolan Persian, I don't know. I mean, it gets a lot of good stuff. It gets Covet, Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb, Gong Shot, Foul Play, Last Resort, Icy Wind, Hyper Voice, Iron Tail, Knockoff, Shockwave, Water Pulse, and Throat Chop are all good moves. But the thing is that it has very, very bad attack. So unless, like, once again, you have something like a Fur Coat, Weakness Policy, like, you won't do much physically. Unless you want to run, like, something Fake Out-ish or whatever. But it doesn't get Swords Dance or anything to boost its attack, so I don't think it's that good. It gets Work Up, but then again, if you're gonna use Work Up, you better use Nasty Plot to like really boost the special attack, which is 75 points higher. But after a boost, between like a 60 maxed or a 75 maxed, you see a difference. Because let's just compare here just for fun. 30 points, so that means pretty much 60 points without like the boosting nature, because otherwise, like, let's say Adamant 240 or Modest, yeah, so like 33 points, you can get a max of 66 points difference between a special attack and attack if you go +2. So all in all, I think you're better just going for a special variant, because you already got moves like Dark Pulse, etc. But anyways, if you really want to get gimmicky, Knockoff and Gong Shot will be main 2 new moves, with maybe Iron Tail, but I think it had it already. Doesn't it? Yeah, it does. But anyways, what did I have here? Anyways, and that's pretty much it. Throat Chop isn't bad at all. Come on. Keyboard is giving me a hard time. Anyways, so, well, Icy Wind I think is one of the best moves here, because it gets boosted by Technician and it slows down the opponent, so maybe it could go Modest instead of Timid. Stuff like that. I don't really see other moves that will be useful. Gong Shot with a crit and has a chance to paralyze, not to paralyze, but to poison. Few good moves here. Knockoff gets a stab, same thing for Throat Chop. Water Pulse gets the Technician boost, etc. So you guys check it out and find out what you like about this. But all around, I don't think Persian will be will benefit that much from move tutors. Next one is Alolan Golem, which gets a lot of good moves. Like a lot of really good moves. You have move tutor. Superpower, Iron Head, Fire Punch, and Focus Punch are the ones I highlighted. But it gets Thunder Punch, which it already has, but still, that's another way to get it. Earth Power, if you run like a Sturdy Weakness Policy special set. I've seen it on some channels. I don't like. You guys know, like, Verlisify type of videos. Like, I don't think it was on his channel, but anyways, Superpower, Electro Web gets a stab. I said Focus Punch. Shockwave doesn't check ability, so that not ability but accuracy. Stomping Tantrum, weaker version of Earthquake. Stealth Rock now is available via Move Tutor, etc. I don't know. Maybe the ones that you'll see the most often will be Superpower and Fire Punch, because they are very good coverage moves and they hit very hard. Fire Punch will be good against some stuff like grass types that you will see very often to counter Alolan Golem, because it's strong against rock and it resists electric, and you're gonna see a lot of Galvanize Alolan Golem. So yeah, that's pretty much it. For the low tier Mons, I think this is the one that gets the best boost here. But then again, I don't think it will bring him up by like 2 tiers. Maybe 1, maybe it will get to RU with like some gimmicky movesets, like once again, Sturdy, Weakness Policy, etc. But that's pretty much it. So the next one I want to highlight that is going to get a huge boost because of those 3 moves is Alolan Muk. Alolan Muk gets the elemental punches, and it gets Pain Split, and it also gets some moves like Focus Punch, which are not that great, and it gets Recycle, which I think it already had. Like, yeah, no, it didn't. So now it can use like the Recycle, Gluttony. So guys, don't start this. This is gonna be freaking annoying to face. But anyways, like, if there's no rule against it, you can use it. So I really like that here. I think it will get a huge boost once again because like regular Muk had access to those punches, but the fact that you had Alolan Grimer and instead of like regular Grimer, like that's the advantage that Exeggutor and Marowak have, is that they could use move tutors from previous generations until then to like kind of get a better move set. But now that we have move tutors in Gen 7, now Alolan Muk gets a lot better. So I think it's gonna go up in usage. I don't think it will be like something major, but still pretty good thing to have. So the next one here is Alolan Exeggutor, which has a crap ton of very, very good moves from Move Tutor. So the thing that I think will be used the most is Dragon Pulse, because like a lot of people don't like Draco Meteor because you get the drop, but this one here is gonna be a huge replacement and maybe a little less powerful, but much safer and like maybe a bit more reliable. Dragon Pulse is gonna be great. Outrage for like those physical variants, because you know what, it's not that bad. 105 is not something you cannot use, and the fact that it is very slow can make it a very good physical trick roomer, like something that people will try to counter like with special walls. Let's say they'll send Chansey or Blissey, and then you come out with like an outrage or knockoff, etc., and they're gonna be like, what's going on? So Zen Headbutt here for like those poison types, because it's still weak to poison, unfortunately. So those are the first few moves I underlined that are new to Alolan Exeggutor, because it has moves like Synthesis, Giga Drain, etc. that it already had, but now you can use even more options for Alolan Exeggutor. Second part is Stomping Tantrum, because like, you know, it has Earthquake, but then again, didn't have it before, so I highlighted it. Superpower is going to be super good in Trick Room, because the main thing that stops Exeggutor from like having any success is Ice types. And Low Kick, Superpower, and Iron Tail, well, those three moves in fact are super good against Ice types. So those are some of the tools you can use for Alolan Exeggutor. It already, well, it can also use Iron Head, but then again, I think you're better off going with just Iron Tail, more damage. But if you don't like less accurate moves, maybe go for Iron Head. It's not too bad either, and there's a chance to flinch. It's not that fast, but in Trick Room, you can also get some flinch shenanigans going. That's pretty much it for now for Alolan Exeggutor. But don't forget that with that special event, I think it had Celebrate, so now it gets the Omni Boost. So maybe mix one of those 8 moves with Omni Boost, and you're gonna get something pretty powerful for your team. And the last one is Alolan Marowak, which doesn't get much, but it still gets Heat Wave for like those gimmicky special sets, because it doesn't have like a very good special attack, but something like Surprise Choice Specs Alolan Marowak, I guess, could work like once in a while. But yeah, maybe you're better off going with like something like Throat Chop or Outrage, which dish out a lot of damage and they take care of Pokemon that can otherwise pretty much stop Alolan Marowak, because like its main stabs are Ghost types. So you have Throat Chop here, even though you could have Shadow Bone, but still. Throat Chop will do a lot of damage, and the other thing is that dragons are resistant to fire, so maybe you can get Outrage off, because it doesn't have like it gets access to like ice moves, which is stupid, but there are special ice moves for the most. So maybe you're better off going with Outrage for dragon types. Let's say you play mono fire versus dragon, that could be a very good surprise. It could give you a key win or key kill that gives you a key win. Anyways, so thank you guys for watching. Leave me some comments telling me like what Pokemon you think gets the best boost, and what are the moves that I shown that you think you could use the most. So if you guys want to see more Pokemon videos like that, like competitive analysis or etc., I don't do a lot of them, but let me know if you like them, because that's something I could start doing. Sometimes shiny hunting gets a little boring. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!